One of my favourite times to take photographs is after it's just been raining or when there's a lot of moisture in the air. Seeing those microscopic beads of water on cobwebs or on leaves. What I'm going to do today is to try to recreate some of that just rain feel right here in my kitchen. A little bit of setup required for this one. First things first, I've got this white plate. I've got another plate underneath it to catch any spills, but I'm trying to create this almost invisible stage. So to help with that, I'm going to pop in some milk and just a bit of water as well. It doesn't all need to be milk. If you don't have a white plate, that's fine. I think the effect I'm going for is this almost ethereal, dreamy, where my subject is going to be appearing out of nowhere feel. So there we go, just get that around the top. I just rub my finger around the outside of the plate to stop that little ridge that builds up. I think it's surface tension. There we go. So that is almost like an infinity pool, an infinity stage. I quite like that. So pop that down there. Next, my subject. So went for a walk earlier, and while I was walking around, I collected just some dandelion seeds and some other seeds and some feathers. We've got a family of pigeons that have been nesting in our garden, so I've just got a couple of little feathers from the younger ones. I'll start off with dandelion seeds because they are quite interesting subjects. Very, very delicate. So use a pair of tweezers and just, when I say select one, I've selected 3 there. There we go. Just select one of them. So, like I say, these are so very delicate and really quite difficult to see with the naked eye. So that's why tweezers are going to be handy here. So let's pop you down for a second. The other thing I'm going to use is just a little bit of, this is blue tack, but you could use Play-Doh, modelling clay, whatever you've got. And I'm just going to make into a little cone, first of all, with a flat bottom so that it'll sit inside my liquid. And then in the top, with my tweezers, just make a little hole. X marks the spot. There we go. And that is where I'm now going to plant just the bottom of this seed. So, again, very carefully, just plant the seed in there. Don't squeeze too hard. Then just squeeze it together so it isn't going to go anywhere. Great. Right. Now I'm going to put it into my infinity stage. And I'm going to put it quite near the front, just enough so that the blue tack here is submerged, so I don't see that. But not so far away that I'm not easily going to be able to get my camera to it. So let's just see where this gets us. There we go. What I've got now, that looks okay. So I've got my seed going almost straight up. Actually, an angle's probably more interesting photographically. And although this seed is white and it's on a white background, it's kind of disappearing into it at the moment. But that's the effect that I want in the first instance. And now comes the next part. We're trying to recreate this moist early morning feel with dew and all sorts in the air catching on the feathers of this seed. So what I've got here is just a little diffuser bottle. This is a travel one. You might be able to well, in fact, I got some aftershave and I tried that and it works. Probably quite an expensive way of doing it. So if you've got one of these, I mean, you could also reuse some window polish or whatever. Really what you want is something where the mist is quite fine. That seems to work the best. Now, even though this is a really small spray and it's not forcing the water out at a great rate, this is so fragile, it could be blown away. So just let the rain fall from a little distance first of all. There we go. And have a good half a dozen sprays or so, just to build up some water Now, I can barely see here whether there is any, or really how much water is built up on this seed. But thankfully my camera with a macro lens can. As always, make sure that your camera lens is lined up with your macro lens. Because I'm getting quite low down, I'm going to hold my phone what some would say is the unnatural way up. So hold it kind of upside down and just get quite low down. And there we go. Wow, so straight away, I'm able to see that there are plenty of water droplets on this seed. Now, as always with macro lenses, focus is either your friend or your enemy, depending on which way you look at it. So my tip is to lock focus. Once you've found your subject, just hold down on the screen to lock focus and then use your hands, which conveniently this plate is giving me a fairly steady guide. Use your hands to guide you in and out to work out what your point of interest is and focus on that. And then when you're locked and where you want to be, just tap on the trigger button. Now, because the depth of field is so shallow with one of these macro lenses, you're not going to get all of the seed, as small as it is, in focus. So just choose the bit that you think is going to work for your viewer's attention. The stalk coming up through the middle, I think, is quite important. So this is quite nice. It's got a milky feel to it, funnily enough, because I've got a plate full of milk here. But I'm not really capturing the water glints as much as I might like. And that's where a source of light comes in. And if there's one thing that has helped lift so many of my shots, it's having my own source of light. You know, I've got a couple of different things here. I've got a big torch over there. All of them I use. And particularly when you've got drops of liquid where the light reflects and refracts and you get these glints and highlights, that's when having your own controllable source of light can really make a difference. So let's just power you on. So I don't even think it needs to be all that strong. Let's have a look and see what effect it has on lifting those droplets of water. Ah, wow. And the answer is plenty. It's almost entirely changed the scene. That's lovely. So now those droplets of water really sing out. I'm just going to punch in with the digital zoom here, just to help me compose. And I might even stay there a little bit, actually. I don't mind using digital zoom a little bit, as long as it's not degrading the image quality too much. But I think that is going to be fine. Let's try a different subject now. So, once again, let's make up my little holder here. Okay, just squeeze you so you're not going to fall out. And now let us, heavens will now open. So let's set the light up again, because I think we know that is going to work best for us. Let's get straight in and see what we've got. I'm going to try backlighting a little bit, see if that gives us anything. Oh yes, it does. Experiment with different things that you find in the garden. Say, I found these feathers and these seeds just out about in the garden and on the street outside. See what else you can plant into a scene and just have fun with this. But I really like playing with a sense of scale, making things look as though they're dewy and moist or icy, frosty.